Don't you love new beginnings, new year, and it's a fresh start? So you get this increased motivation, but are you worried a little bit about keeping that New Year's motivation alive? Then you're going to want to listen to this episode because I talk about new beginnings and lasting impact and the three ways to keep the New Year motivation alive. And today, I'm going to be talking about new beginnings, lasting impact, basically the three ways to keep the New Year motivation alive. I don't know if I've said it in the previous episodes. Well, Happy New Year. We are in 2025 now, and I'm glad you're listening to this today, or you're watching this today, or you're reading this today, because I do put it on my YouTube channel and also on my blog. But I want to talk about something today, this like incredible energy that we feel in the beginning of the year, that excitement to make big things happen. This is going to be the year, we say, right? But let's be real. That motivation can fade really fast. And now that we are in the third week of January, a lot of people have already given up on their resolutions. So today I'm going to share with you three of my favorite strategies for keeping that New Year's motivation alive. Also, it's going to help you to avoid burnout and make some real progress on your goals. I'm also going to share how you can stay focused and on track all year long. So let's dive in. First, let's talk about just the importance of new beginnings, right? There's something really powerful about a fresh start, isn't there? There's that nice newness and that ability to just say, like, screw last year is gone, and we get a clear slate, a clean slate. It's a chance to let go of those old habits, the old goals, maybe old people that aren't serving you, and to step into something new or a whole new year. And I've experienced this firsthand myself. Some years I'm excited to see them go, like good riddance, and other years, I'm like, oh, that year was so good. But no matter where I'm at, when I can get intentional in the new year about what's coming up, about I sit down, I map out my goals, I stick to the plan, that's when things really change for me, right? Having that really clear blueprint. But here's the thing. Starting strong is one thing, but keeping that momentum going forward is what makes the difference. And maybe you're thinking, I've started off strong. I did the plan. I am ready to go. I have huge motivation. And truth is that it's really easy to start strong, but it's not easy to keep that momentum, that motivation going. And that's really what makes the difference, right? That motivation to keep going and the motivation for your goals. I'm sure you've heard now, and I mentioned it a little bit earlier about how so many people have already failed at their New Year's resolution, and we're only just like 3 weeks into January. I know that when I used to be a bit of a gym rat, meaning I was at the gym all the time, all year, many times a week, because I was doing a lot of training for rugby, for soccer. I hope to be the gym rat again one day. But anyway, back to my point is that in January, I hated going to the gym in January because all those people were there who made their New Year's resolutions. And like, good for them. But for all these like new gym goers, it made the gym really busy and I couldn't use the equipment. And so I was really happy about by the end of January, most of them had fallen off. But as I got into more goal setting and into being a life and business coach, I just thought, man, like, I really want those people to succeed. I really want them to be able to reach their goals and continue the motivation towards achieving them, right? I don't want people to drop off from that new year energy and motivation. I want it to be sustained throughout the year. So let's talk about the three reasons why motivation fades for a lot of people. First is you get overwhelmed by the big goals, right? And so if we look at going to the gym, maybe they say, I'm going to go 5 days a week. And then that quickly turns into being too many or they're too sore because it's in the beginning, right? And when you're doing those sort of activities for the first time, it really can be painful for muscles that haven't been worked. And so when we set really ambitious goals, New Year's goals, or just goals in general, It can feel exciting at first, but the sheer size of the task, the goal, can lead to overwhelm. So if you're like, this is the year I write my book, and this is the year that I'm gonna launch my new website, and this is the year I'm gonna plan this trip and this renovation. And there seems to be all these massive goals, and that's great. And you should have really great goals. But then people don't know where to start, right? And then they procrastinate or they just do what they can and eventually they give up. So we're overwhelmed by big goals. And that is if they've actually made the right goals. So I've said in previous podcasts about a lot of times people make the wrong goals because they don't go through an actual process similar to the process I take people through in the Breakthrough 2025. The second reason why people lose motivation is because they have a lack of clear direction. So without a clear path, right, it's easy to lose focus. So maybe they start strong, they have this goal, it might not even be a big goal, but then they're not even sure like what's the next step and how do I get there and how do I do it? And so they feel stuck. Have you ever put together a piece like a bookshelf or something, but you've lost the instructions? Oh my goodness. Yes, it's so hard. And you move and you're like, oh, I'll remember how to put the bed together. There's only like 5 screws. And then you come to put the bed together and it's a nightmare. You don't know what the next step is. So if you don't have the clear direction, the clear plan, you're gonna feel stuck. You're gonna lose motivation. That's just how it is, right? The third thing is you lack immediate results. So if we look again to the gym example, you're going to the gym first week 3 times because it's a short week. Second week, you go 5 times. And you come into your third week and you go twice, and all you've felt is pain. And you don't see yourself getting stronger yet. You don't see the difference in your body yet. And so it's so natural to be motivated by that instant gratification in the beginning. But big goals, or even small goals, they require consistent effort over time, right? You could say, I'm going to write a book, but it's not going to be today. And there's going to be times where you don't feel like writing, or your editor gives you bad feedback. Even though it's constructive and needed, it's going to give you a hit. And so when the results aren't immediate, motivation will fade. So you're like, okay, Diane, so if these are 3 of the big common issues, why motivation fades, then how do some people seem to go forward? And how do some people seem to stay motivated all year? And how do you stay motivated? Well, while I've given you 3 ways that motivation can fade, there are so many more. These are the top ones that I'm seeing, at least at this time of year. And so here are some practical steps. Sound good? You need to build in some routines to support your goals. Obviously, if we go back, you need to have the right sized goals. You need to have clear direction, and you need to have not just immediate results, but understand that consistent effort. Okay. If we look at these pieces, right, instead of big goals, break them down into smaller goals, manageable steps, focus on the micro wins, build your self confidence, and maintain your progress, right? You need a map. That clear focus needs to happen. You need a map, or as I like to call it, a blueprint, like we have in the Breakthrough 2025, we have the Breakthrough Blueprint. And that's going to help you to provide clarity and help you to know where the next step is. Side note, you can still join the Breakthrough 2025. I can still help you to come up with that blueprint, that plan, if you don't have it yet. And you're going to be able to get the support you need to have the right size goals and the right focus and the right path. And rather than thinking of immediate results, focus on that process, right? Rather than just the outcome. And we're going to celebrate those consistent efforts. So maybe it's not, oh, the book's written, but it's, I wrote 2,000 words today. So if every day you could write 2,000 words, depending on how fast you want to write your book, how big the book is going to be, that's going to help you to build the trust in yourself that you can attain this goal. So let me go back now to the building routines that support your goals. So for example, every day I spend 5 minutes in the morning before I get into everything, just to like review what are my priorities for the day. I look at my blueprint. What are my goals? What are the next steps in those goals from my plan that I'm going to be putting into play today? What do I have already in my schedule that I maybe need to adjust in order to be able to reach the goals that I need to like that I set for today? And I've seen this work really well for my clients, right? Those participants in the breakthrough. They tell me all the time how, like, these small habits, these small pieces, like having their guidelines, having their values, having their theme and their new paradigm, having these have really helped them, along with the breakdown of all of their goals, have really helped them to be able to prioritize where they need to go and really get them into that place of that daily planning. It's helped one of my clients, I know for sure. She was like, wow, this helped me achieve more in 1 month than I used to do in 6 months, right? That intentional action. The other pieces that are really going to help you, the other practical steps, our monthly check-ins, right? Because how many times, like if these people had at the gym in that first month had more check-ins, more knowing that they were going to have to like report to others and say how they did, that would help them, right? Two ways. The check-ins also give you the accountability because if you know that other people are going to be looking to your goals, looking to your plan to see, did you do it? Are you sticking with it? And then to have them celebrate you at those monthly check-ins to be like, wow, so good. And we've done like air high fives, Zoom high fives before to just be like, wow, look what you've accomplished. That's so amazing. And that increases the motivation as well. Monthly check-ins with accountability. Because if you know that by the end of the month, you have to report on how you did in that accountability, you are more likely to be motivated by external reasons, right? For external reasons, but you're more likely to be motivated to do it. So, what does this mean for you now? Well, you now know that you want to maintain, you want to keep that motivation throughout the year, right? That spark of the new year, the new beginnings. You know, you want that. You know, maybe the areas that are causing you to lose the motivation. And you see some ways that you can boost the motivation and sustain that moving forward. Now, the easiest way is to join the Breakthrough 2025. Shameless plug, right? But if you're feeling like you could use extra support to stay on track, if you don't want to muster the motivation, then this program is exactly what you need. Now, I remember how many years ago? Probably 10 over 10 years ago, I remember seeing Brendan Burchard, and he said, "Do you know power plants don't have energy? They make it." And so it's just like motivation. You don't always have the motivation, you have to make it. But what if someone else could help to boost your motivation, right? In the Breakthrough 2025, you're going to get a clear, actionable blueprint. It's going to help you to map out your whole year with tools to help you to combat a lack of motivation and to help you to achieve the goals. You're going to get accountability, as I said, and support from amazing like-minded women. And you're going to have tools to track your progress and adjust when life throws you curveballs or takes away your motivation. You know, one of my favorite success stories is from a participant who went from feeling completely stuck and feeling like, I don't think I can do this, and having actually not much motivation, just motivation to join the program, but not motivation to really reach the goals. She ended up hitting one of her biggest goals within just a few months of joining. She had a massive goal in the first 30 days. And then every month thereafter, she was like reaching and clearing off her big goals like right away. And that's what happens when you have the right framework in place and the right motivation. So let's recap. You know, motivation is something that you need. And the New Year's motivation, the new beginnings motivation is where the magic happens. there is an opportunity for you to carry that forward all the way through. Break down your goals, celebrate your milestones, your wins, and stay accountable. Small actions every day, planning every day is going to help you to move forward. And I encourage you to take a small action today. What's one thing that you can do to keep the motivation going? Maybe it's writing down that top goal. Maybe it is reaching out to me about the Breakthrough 2025. And if you're ready to go all in, I encourage you go to the notes, click through, or search Diane Rolston in the Breakthrough 2025. You can see it. Join. You have questions, email me, diane@dianerolston.com. You don't want to miss our first monthly check-in this year so that you can meet the crew and have some really great momentum towards your goals and your plan for 2025. So thanks so much for spending time with me today. Let's make 2025 our breakthrough year together. If you haven't yet, please hit subscribe, share this with a friend, and until next time, stay dynamic. Bye.